Okay, we need to pause for a second. We really need to stop and look at the absolute chaos that is currently unfolding in the background of your life. Hold up. You actually went there. You actually did it. For years, you were the quiet one. You were the peacemaker. You were the one who would bite your tongue, swallow your pride, and absorb the disrespect just to keep the peace in the family, in the friend group, or in that toxic relationship. They were completely used to you backing down. They had an entire manual written on how to handle you, and page 1 of that manual said, "Push them, and they will eventually fold." But not this time. This time, you looked them dead in the eye, and you dropped a truth so heavy, so unfiltered, and so undeniably absolute that it completely shattered the floorboards beneath their feet. Maybe you sent the text message that finally called out their hypocrisy. Maybe you packed your bags and walked out the door without giving them the satisfaction of an argument. Or maybe, when they tried to run their usual manipulation play on you, you simply stood your ground, held up your hand, and said, "No, we are not doing this anymore." And now, they are absolutely freaking out. The group chat is currently on fire. They are scrambling, making phone calls, and pacing back and forth in their living rooms, trying to figure out what on earth just happened. They are experiencing a psychological earthquake, and it is entirely because you finally ripped up the script they gave you. Let's talk about exactly what you just unleashed, because you need to understand the magnitude of the spiritual shift that just took place. You didn't just unleash anger. Anger is a human emotion. It passes. What you unleashed was the terrifying, undeniable frequency of righteous authority. To understand why they are panicking, you have to look at the psychology of a bully or a manipulator. Toxic people build their entire reality on a house of cards. That house is held together by silence, compliance, and fear. They rely on the empathy of people like you to keep their house standing. When they throw a tantrum, they expect you to apologize. When they cross a line, they expect you to look the other way. Your compliance was the glue holding their delusion together. But when you finally pushed back, when you finally spoke the raw truth and set a boundary that you refused to negotiate, you pulled the bottom card out of their house. The reason they are freaking out is that they don't know who you are anymore. You broke their algorithm. They are staring at you, realizing that the gentle, overly forgiving empath they have been taking advantage of for years has suddenly been replaced by a fiercely protected warrior who sees straight through their games. The element of surprise is what makes this so devastating for them. If a loud, aggressive person yells at them, they know how to handle it. They can fight fire with fire. But when the quietest, kindest, most patient person in the room finally stands up and says, "Enough," it carries a spiritual weight that completely paralyzes the kingdom of darkness. It terrifies them because it proves that their mind control is no longer working. Right now, you might be experiencing a little bit of an emotional hangover because you have such a good heart, Setting a heavy boundary probably feels really uncomfortable for you. You might be sitting there second-guessing yourself. You might be thinking, was I too harsh? Should I have said it differently? Maybe I should reach out and smooth things over. The enemy is going to try to use your own empathy against you right now. They want you to feel guilty for finally defending the territory that God gave you. Do not backtrack. Do not send the apology text. Do not try to soften the blow. What you are feeling right now isn't actually guilt. It is the unfamiliar sensation of your own spine stiffening. It is the growing pains of stepping into your divine authority. You need to realize that God was the one who gave you the words. For years, you prayed for strength. You prayed for the courage to stand up for yourself. You asked God to remove the fear of man from your heart. So when you finally opened your mouth and the truth poured out of you like a flood, that wasn't you losing your temper. That was the Holy Spirit taking the wheel. God allowed you to reach your breaking point so that you would finally enforce the boundaries He has been asking you to build. You unleashed a standard. When you set that boundary, you sent a shockwave into the spiritual realm that completely altered the atmosphere around your life. You put every toxic person, every hidden enemy, and every manipulative spirit on notice. The message was loud and clear. Access to your energy is no longer free. The days of treating you like an emotional dumping ground are permanently over, and the panic you are sensing from them. That is the sound of withdrawal. They are detoxing from your light. They are realizing that they can no longer use you as a human shield for their own bad behavior. Some of them are going to try to play the victim now. They are going to run to anyone who will listen and tell a completely fabricated story about how cruel and cold you have become. They will say, "I don't know what got into them. They just snap." Let them spin their little narratives. Let them paint you as the villain in a story they wrote to avoid taking accountability. Their panic is not your problem to solve. Their emotional regulation is not your responsibility. You are not their parent. You are not their therapist. And you are certainly no longer their punching bag. You have just graduated to a completely new dimension of spiritual maturity. You have learned how to love people from a distance. You have learned that forgiveness does not mean giving someone a front row seat to destroy your peace. Look at what you did. You took your power back. You walked into the lion's den, looked the lion dead in the face, and told it to sit down. And it worked. I want you to take a massive, deep breath right now, and just let the reality of your own strength settle into your bones. You survived the manipulation. You survived the confusion. And you finally found your roar. You are untouchable right now. I would really love to hear how this feels for you. If you have recently set a boundary that shocked the people around you, drop into the comments and share your experience. Let's create a space where we can celebrate that courage together, because stepping into your authority is not easy, but it is so incredibly worth it. Stand firm in your truth today. Do not compromise the ground you just took. I am so incredibly proud of the strength you are showing, and I'll be right here waiting to talk with you again soon.